Visibox is what we call an audiovisual performance environment. And today I'm going to walk you through the whole interface, show you all the different windows and menus, and kind of explain what everything does. It's going to take a little while, but at the end, you're going to just totally understand Visibox. All right, this is the basic Visibox interface. We've got what we call the output window here. This is when you play something where the output shows, whether it's a video or a camera or image clips or whatever you've got. All the visual stuff shows in the output window. When you go full screen, this is what the audience sees. I've got a television behind me, but oftentimes it'll be a video projector or an entire video wall, professional video wall, or basically anything you can connect a computer to, you can play Visibox on. So, like I said, you can play images, you can play video files, you can play audio, you can play multi-channel audio with Visibox, you can play multi-channel audio that's contained in a video. You can play, you can connect cameras or HDMI inputs, and more. We've got more features coming out all the time. In fact, I've kind of been putting off doing this video because I keep thinking, oh, we've got that new thing coming out, I'll wait, but I keep waiting. So, in an effort to just sort of take a snapshot where we are right now, here's the walkthrough. So first of all, let me acquaint you with what we call the controller window. This window is the controller window. At the top, it has the name of your project. Visibox works equally well on Mac and Windows. The Windows interface will look a little bit different from this. I'm doing the walkthrough on the Mac, so but the concepts are basically exactly the same. In the upper left here, we've got sort of your shuttle controls, there's a play button, which will play basically the first clip in the selected active song. So you activate a song here by clicking on it, or you can hit the keyboard keys up and down. If you're using MIDI, you can control this through program change messages. Basically, there's a whole bunch of different ways to control Visibox. If you're using a Stream Deck, like I have one right here, you can, it's not focusing on it. Let's see. As you go up and down, we're not quite seeing the buttons there, but you get the idea. Let me find one with a whole bunch of clips. I think I've got one down here. There's a bunch of clips, and you basically can fill the whole Stream Deck with your stuff and trigger it right here. So that's kind of fun. I get really dark in the background with that, huh? And anyways, but you can do that. That's play will play the first clip. Pause will pause it, so it freezes on the screen. Stop will stop it, and if you have what we call a background clip, as I have here, it will go back to play the background clip, or it could just go to black if you prefer. These buttons kind of emulate what's happening on the keyboard. And if you hover over things, you also get tooltips. So left will run to the previous clip. We don't have one because we're don't have anything activated. Forward will select either the first clip in the song or the next clip in the song. And these are mostly just sort of reminders, especially as people first open the app. It's like, how do I play something? So we put in a play button. You can also hit the space bar to play and stop your clips. Up will select the previous song. Down will select the next song. Selecting a song also stops the clips within the previous song. So if you're using, let's say, a MIDI pedal to control your visuals on stage, instead of necessarily having a pedal assigned to stop and next song, you could just hit the next song button, and it will automatically queue up the next song. And then maybe you could basically do a whole show with 2 buttons, one for select the next song and the next for play the clip. If you're doing shows, I should explain, you can put as many clips as you want in your songs if you have the pro version of Visibox. We also have a free version that's got some limitations, but if you've got the pro version of Visibox, you get everything. You can put as many clips as you want, and you can see with this song we've got 23 clips in it. It ends up kind of crammed up in the user interface here, but like I said, you might want to do that if you've got a big Stream Deck like this. It's not focusing. There, it's focused. And where was I going with this? So yeah, you can have as many clips as you want, but a lot of performers will just have 1 clip per song. They've already got a pre-recorded full-length video or some kind of vibey thing that they just want to loop through the song, and basically Visibox works just as easily for that. Maybe you've got multi-channel audio files that you want to connect to your songs, and then you want to have some clips that you can jump to sort of improvisationally through the, while that's playing. You can cut to a camera or HDMI input and get the drum solo on there, or the bass solo, or whatever you need to kind of catch your close-ups on stage. Let's continue on. So we call this area the control bar at the top here. This, as we roll over it, is the background clip. And if we click on it, you can see that it brings up a menu allowing you to control what you have in as your background clip. I could replace the clip that I've got up there now. I could just remove it straight out. Also, if it's got audio, I could mute it. I could adjust the volume of it. I'll explain these options. I'll wait to explain those a little later. When resuming and when clip ends. I can also rotate the clip. If I rotate it 90 degrees, you see that it rotates up there. And so basically, all of your clips you can do this with. I can flip it horizontally. I can add filters to it, like blur and brightness and contrast, and make it grayscale instead of color. My white balance is doing funny things up here, but I could mess with the colors even more than they're already being messed with. I can adjust the speed of this. It's a video clip, so I can adjust the speed. We've also got a beta feature to play it backwards. It's still kind of a beta feature, and I can reveal it in the Finder. The way that Visibox works when you've got a project, a lot of audiovisual software will link to your files kind of wherever they are on the hard drive. This can be a problem if those files move around. Our philosophy is that these days, disk storage is relatively cheap, and the easier way to do things is to copy it all into a project folder, or on the Mac it looks like a file. It's still a directory, but it looks like a file. But on Windows it's a project directory, and we just copy everything in there as you go. So you're sure not to lose things. Also, it's nice because you can just put it on a thumb drive and copy it from your Mac to your Windows machine, or vice versa. We know that a lot of people have different machines that they use for production and for performance. Maybe you've got a MacBook in a road case or something like that you use for touring or playing gigs, and at home you use your desktop machine to kind of assemble all the videos and stuff like that. Visibox is totally set up to work that way. And there's something else I was going to say. Remember what it was. That's the background clip. You can also control the overall volume here. If you click the little speaker icon, it will mute. but you can, adjust the volume level here. This is the imaging button here. A lot of these are repeated through the menu system, but we have the option for multi-channel. So if you have Visibox connected to a professional audio interface, a multi-channel interface, you can send multi-channel audio to it. But if it's in stereo mode, it will take, maybe you've got 8 channels of audio with different in-ear mixes for your performers, or different stems that you're sending to front of house so they can kind of mix the backing tracks live. In multi-channel mode, it will send all of those but maybe in rehearsal, you want to be able to hear all your backing tracks without necessarily having to hook it up to a multi-channel audio interface. If you go into stereo mode here, it will fold all of those multi-channel down to stereo. If you go into mono mode, it will fold everything down to dual mono. So if you've got like a stereo mix and you show up at the gig and the sound person says, we don't have a stereo sound system, just give me a mono feed, but it's got some really important stuff on the right and you're just sending them the left, you can put Visibox in mono mode and it will take and fold those two stereo channels down to mono and give the sound person the mix that they might want or need. The next here, let me mute this and we can play some audio. Well, actually, I can't show you if it's muted, but turn down my volume in here so I can talk over it. So this is the audio level. It's just showing you the audio level, but if you click on it, you can choose your interface that you're using. I've got a whole other video that talks about multi-channel audio and how to do multi-channel backing tracks and all that kind of stuff. So I'll leave that to, maybe I'll put a link up here, link up there. Yeah, so that's just the audio meter. If you've got multi-channel playing, it will show you all the channels that are playing. This is a CPU meter, just kind of telling you where you are. Visibox is only using 6% of our system resources here. However, I'm using a lot of my system resources, 53% currently, to record this video and a whole bunch of other things. So we also have a timer here. Oftentimes, as you're performing, you'll have a certain specific amount of time that you're supposed to play. Is your set time. You want to keep it to that 45 minutes or whatever you've been given. You can just start the timer at the beginning of your show. You can pause it, you can reset it. It's a timer. Also, we have the clock. For those of you who aren't in the United States, you can show it in 24-hour time. Or in 12-hour time like we do here. You can also show the seconds if you're into that. This is the battery level. I've got my computer plugged in right now, so it's 100%. If your computer is unplugged, this whole top bar here will be sort of a dark red. So if you see this as a dark red, it's a reminder that you should probably plug your computer in if you're going to be out on stage at a gig. Yeah, so we've got that too. And it'll actually start flashing if your battery level is low. I've done that. I thought I showed up at a gig and forgot my power supply, or I had a power supply that didn't work. I thought it worked. And there's a few other little features that show up in the bar here when you're in full screen in sort of performance mode here. This is kind of the panic button. It will basically kind of reset all the windows. If anything gets weird while you're on stage, this is sort of a tradition in MIDI going back to the very beginning, was like just a panic button. If anything goes wrong, hit the panic button. And it will kind of reset all the windows and stuff and make sure that everything starts working again. This will swap displays. So oftentimes when you get to a gig and go into, you've got your laptop connected to a projector and the projector is big behind the screen and the laptop is sitting in front of you and you go into full screen mode. and then you're seeing what the audience should be seeing, and what the controller window is now up on the projector. Just hit this and it will swap the two of them from where they are from each other. And then this is the full screen button, which changes icons slightly when you're not in full screen mode. Let me put this back over on the external screen here. Full screen again, so we have a nice little background behind us, and when I trigger videos, you can see them. Yeah, and then like I said, this is what we call the playlist. It looks like a set list. It's designed with big clunky type that you can make as big as you need on stage to be able to see it across while you're playing guitar, bass, or drums or whatever, and you're on stage without your glasses on, because it's cooler to play without your glasses. You can make the text really big and be able to see it. Or if maybe you're front of house and doing this and want to be able to see more on the screen all at once, you can reduce the size of the interface. And as the interface gets bigger, we do a job of kind of trying to make sure that you don't lose being able to see the things. We'll sort of squeeze the size of the clips and then squeeze the size of the text if need be. What else? If you right click on these things, you'll get, if you right click on the song part of the song, you'll get song options like new song and adding media files or another camera clip. You can add a placeholder clip. A placeholder is basically something that doesn't play. Because Visibox is visual software, and clips are visual things. And the way that Visibox works is that in order to trigger the playback of a song, and a song can have an audio file, backing track, something like that, or whatever you're using the audio for, you trigger a clip within the song in order to play the song. If you add audio, just audio to a song, here, I'll do that now. Got some indie rock swagger, canned music. It will ask you if you want to add a placeholder clip to the song so that you can trigger it. You can't trigger it until you actually trigger a clip. So that's how that works. As you're playing a song, the progress bar will sort of move along. You can also kind of shift it along using this scrubber bar here. So if you wanted to jump to, oftentimes in rehearsal, I hear this from people saying, "Oh, start from the second chorus." That's how you'd do that, is kind of jump to it here, and hopefully you can see from the waveform. Like I said, we're adding features all the time, and as I'm talking through this, I'm thinking of other features. I won't mention them all, but yes, progress continues. What else? Right click, and you can attach audio. This is what I'm talking about. Like, a song is a piece of music, and so your backing track kind of is the song, kind of exists at the song level, and then you've got clips within the song, and you can have as many clips as you want, but the audio will continue playing as you're triggering different clips until you stop any of those clips, either by stopping it explicitly, hitting the space bar, hitting the stop button, or advancing to another song. That's when the audio will stop. So edit song title, pretty self-explanatory. You can also double click on it and change it. Program identifier, you can see here, Visibox will sort of auto assign program identifiers as we go. You can think of program identifiers as like program change IDs in MIDI. So we used to just allow people to select the songs by the order that they are within the project. However, people were finding that they wanted to switch around the order of the songs in the set, but they already had it programmed into their device to trigger it. So we now have also the ability to trigger MIDI, trigger songs by program ID through MIDI as well. Manual.spaceage.tv is where you can read about everything I'm saying here, and it probably says it better than I do. It's searchable and all kinds of things. So if you have any questions about any of this stuff, just go there or send us an email. We're always happy to help. But if I wanted to change the program ID, let's say I wanted this song to be number 10 instead of Universe Rocket, I could just select 10 there, and now you'll see that they've kind of they've switched around. So now one doesn't have a number, but this song is number 10, and so on. Edit song title, program, move song up, move song down. This is just the basically the reminder of the hotkeys for that. You can also right click, and I'm just hitting the right button on my mouse pointer here, and control a clip. We've got delete, we've got duplicate, mute, set the volume. I think this clip doesn't actually have audio, but if it did, that would be a good way to kind of get it out of the way. We have these rules for what you can kind of think of as the start and end of the clip. And end means two different things, because there's the clip ending on its own, and then there's the clip ending because you've stopped it. So when resuming, you have options of restart from the beginning or resume from the last point. So basically it means you played the clip, you went and played another clip, and now you're coming back to play that clip. Should you resume it where it was, or should you start it from the beginning again? While a clip is playing, and you re-trigger it again, you press the button again to trigger it, does it restart from the beginning? That's the default. My favorite one is stutter, which basically jumps it back a second or two or something like that. And allows you to kind of stutter on it, which is really musical, if I do say so. Scratch, which is a beta feature. We're still working on kind of getting that one to do it right every time, but you're welcome to try it out. Which is kind of like a record scratch. It basically reverses really quick and then forwards really quick, and then allows the clip to continue. Reverse is related to the direction thing that I was showing earlier. So when you re-trigger it, it will just change the direction of the clip. It'll be playing forward, and then it'll start playing backwards. So pause and resume. Basically just pause it and resume from where you were. Pause and restart, stop, or do nothing. So if you want to be sure that if you trigger it again accidentally, it doesn't stop or anything. So oftentimes if I've got things that I want to be sure to play all the way through, I'll set them to do nothing. And as you can see, when you choose one of these options, you get a different icon up here for it. And then when clip ends, by default, we loop the clips. So you can kind of get through a whole show if you've got like a 20-second looping clip. I've seen that, and it can be fine. It can be great, to get through, I don't know, a half-hour show with just kind of a looping thing that happens up there. Bounce is a beta feature. All these reverse things are kind of beta features right now. Bounce works kind of like the boomerang feature that was around on Instagram and places years ago. Probably still around, but basically when you get to the end, it will just play it backwards. And then when it gets to the beginning, it will play it forwards. So it will kind of, the playhead bounces back and forth. when it gets to the end of the clip, stop. That will also stop the audio in the song as well. So keep that in mind if you choose stop. But there's lots of cases where you might want to, especially on the last clip of your song, have it just automatically stop when it finishes. Freeze basically pauses it. Freeze frame on the last frame. Start next clip will basically just play the next clip that you've got. Visibox has a couple of different modes for song and clip navigation, basically whether the next clip after the clip that you're playing is the first clip in this song or the first clip in the next song. I'll explain that to you a little bit later down the road. And again, it's in the menu or in the manual. It's in the menu, but it's also in the manual. And then also when clip ends, cue next song. Cueing the next song basically just, finishes playing this clip, the camera clip, so it never ends. But let's say we play this clip, and when it's finished, let's see if I can get to it before it finishes. You can watch it playing here, and then boink, it just cues up the next song. And all you have to do is hit the space bar or the pedal on your MIDI pedal board, and it'll play. Rotate again, flip again, filters again, letterbox. Letterboxing and Visibox by default, we crop clips. It's sort of kind of the difference between a kind of movie-oriented video player and a more vibey-oriented audiovisual player like Visibox is that we default to cropping. So if you are showing the Wizard of Oz up there or something like that, you don't want it to crop, you can absolutely set it to letterbox. And you can set this both at the project level and at the clip level. So and that gets a little weird if both of them are, but anyways, but you can set what the default setting is. So the default in this context means the project setting. And maybe we should change that, but here there's a letterbox setting of whether it's letterboxed or not. And this will just sort of fall back to what it is. But if you wanted to override the letterbox fallback, you could do that here. You can set speed, direction. You can duplicate this clip as the project background. So basically any clip could become your project background at any time. I could take this one and just say duplicate as project background, and now it's showing up there, but my camera is not picking it up. Let me find something darker. That's very weird that it's not picking it up. There you go. You can see it down here in the lower left, what's actually playing up there. Continuing on, duplicate, move clip left, move clip right, and reveal it in the Finder. So, yeah, that's the clip context menu. If it's a so you can see in the lower right-hand corner kind of an indicator of what it is. For video clips, you get a little, it's just an indicator of what the on-end feature is. For camera clips, they've got this sort of camera iris icon. For placeholders, you get a little ghost. And for images, do we have any images in here? Let's put an image in. Nice one. For images, you get a little icon there. So, all right. Let's now go through the menus themselves. I'm in the Finder. All right. Your About Visibox brings up an About window. The registration brings up information about your registration. This is where you can alter your subscription if you've got a subscription, or see, when the expiration is on your license upgrade, free upgrade period. We've got a perpetual license that gives you 2 years of free updates. And so you can see how much longer that is there. stuff like that. And if you are you using the free version of Visibox, this will allow you to subscribe and take you to the information on our website for that. Settings, volume up, volume down. It's also a reminder of what the hot keys are for those things, the control keys for those. On Windows, these are slightly different keys. On the Mac, it's the command, what is that character called? Greater than and command less than. And on Windows, it's a control. You can also set the audio output for Visibox. It can be different than your system audio output. We also work with virtual audio outputs and stuff like that. So if you're using OBS or things like that, you can take the content out, the audio content out of Visibox and stream it into OBS. Audio output, audio channels. Again, this is the exact same as this menu here that we looked at earlier. Default audio channels, default camera. We've got a camera clip here. If you can set a default camera for your project or for your computer. I've got several that are connected to this computer, including a couple of virtual cameras. I've got the OBS virtual camera. I've got the Elgato virtual camera. I've also got, and this is just kind of a thing that Apple does in current versions of their operating system with current versions of their phone, is that you can use your phone's camera as a camera for Visibox. And basically, if you select this, it will pop up a permission thing on your phone, and you can use your phone to basically stream content onto the big screen on stage. Really cool. You can activate which MIDI inputs we're listening to by default. When you connect a new device, it will be activated. But if you're finding it's sending signals that you want Visibox to ignore, you can turn them off here. MIDI map. I'll pull up the MIDI map. It showed up on my screen here. Let's see. This is the MIDI map. MIDI map basically allows you to map MIDI messages, which is a thing that we've been doing with MIDI for forever. It's just sort of part of the MIDI tax. I've been talking to people at the MIDI Association. They've got some wonderful new MIDI 2.0 functionality on the horizon that should help with this kind of stuff. But for now, we're still mapping MIDI, but we try to make it as easy as possible. Basically, you can select your device. I don't have anything that's particularly, I've got one MIDI controller sitting right here, but I don't actually have it plugged in. But basically, you would select it from the input, go into learn mode, and then just hit the buttons that are associated with what you want. Hit the play clip 1, play clip 2, play clip 3. You can do this basically on any device. If you need more clips, you can add them there. If you want to learn other buttons, you just hit the learn next to it, and it'll turn green. We've got a column to reset things or clear the inputs. And then, as I alluded to earlier, down the bottom here, we've got the select song via. And by default, it's on song order. So it's just the index of the song within the listing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as they say over here. But you can also use program identifier, and those program identifiers will not change even if you change the order of the songs. If you add new songs at the top or something like that, the program identifier won't change. So, yeah, really powerful stuff you can do with MIDI here. You can have it use the note names or the MIDI note numbers. So that's that. Again, we've got another video that gets even more in deep about the MIDI functionality in Visibox. Launch it, login, just what it says on the tin. If you select this when I launch the computer, when I open the computer and log into my user account, which could happen automatically even, it will automatically launch Visibox. I can select to have Visibox launch full screen as well when it launches, either if it launches automatically or if it launches. So we've got people who are using Visibox in sort of like a kiosk situation. This will help basically get you up and running really quickly in the morning. When you come into the gallery or the art installation or whatever you've got going on, turn on the computer and it'll just bring Visibox right up in full screen, and it's ready to go. We've got Stream Deck functionality. I was just showing you this Stream Deck XL over here. But basically, the Elgato software and our software don't play together very well. So you need to quit the Elgato software to use ours. We're working on a different kind of Stream Deck integration that will solve that problem in the future. But if you find that something is going wrong and that Visibox is taking over your Stream Deck or something like that, you can disable the Stream Deck here. Control bar you can turn off if for some reason you don't want that, if you want to gain a little real estate. That's a thing that you can turn off or turn it back on. By default, when we create songs for Visibox, we give them these little spacey names. The company's called Space Age. And so we make up some fun little spacey titles for the songs. But if that is annoying to you, if you don't find it as fun as we do, that's fine. You can just use new song for the new songs. You can choose your language here. We've got Visibox in English, German, Spanish, French, Italian, Japanese, and Korean. And if you select one of these, you'll get a whole new interface in that language. Now, the trick, of course, is to figure out how to change it. Or just set it to the computer. What I can't see is the one that's just labeled the same language as the computer, which is the default. Language. System default. That's it. For my computer, it's American English. All right, settings, check for update. We'll check to see if there's any Visibox updates, and it'll pop up a box to allow you to update to the next version. This happens automatically every few hours, as long as you're not in full screen. It will not happen during a show. If any of your windows are in full screen mode, you won't get notifications in the middle of your art installation or whatever. But but that's what check for updates. This is just the basic stuff that the Mac does. There's the quit. New project will open a window to choose where you want to store your new project. Open project opens an existing project. Open recent allows you to open recent. This is kind of a Mac functionality, but we've sort of mirrored it with some custom code onto Windows. Save as will allow you to resave a new project using your current as a start. So if you want to work on a new iteration of your set list, or use what you have as a basis, that's totally doable. The other thing that you can do, just so that I've mentioned this, is let's just do create a new project here. I don't want to get too into the weeds because I want to keep this video quick. And this, I'm showing you a demo on my secondary screen here, and so everything keeps showing up on my primary screen. Visibox allows you to basically just drag content back and forth. So if you want to take this song and put it in this project, you can just drag it. I can take clips from here, including, I don't know, just some sort of random clips, and drag them over to my other project, and they show up there. So it's really nice to be able to sort of transfer things around. So, once you've created a song, you can, bring it over without actually doing a full save as, but you can do it save as well. So that's sort of the explanation on save as and dragging songs and dragging clips. I should mention also to drag clips within a project, you just grab them and you can move them around like this. To drag a song though, you have to grab the song's handle, which is this up at the top of it. Yeah, so that's how that works. And you can drag multiple songs by selecting multiple songs, or multiple clips. And that's how that works. Open recent, save as, close project, self-explanatory. Clean up unused files. In order to maintain undo and redo functionality, when you undo, let's just say adding a file or several files, media files to your project, when you undo that, we don't want to delete them yet because you might want to redo that. However, this means that over time, as you're undoing things, you can end up with files in your project that you don't need anymore, or maybe you've deleted a song or deleted a whole bunch of clips. After that happens, just sort of the same way that your operating system, you can empty the trash, you can clean up the unused files, and it will then delete them. It will truncate your undo redo history, so you won't be able to redo anything after that, but it'll give you a little warning to say that. And print, which is sort of an interesting feature to have in here. But basically, this is a set list, and there are any number of reasons that you might want to print out set lists in a performers situation. And so you could just use this as your set list, and it actually prints a pretty nice set list. Having played a lot of shows myself, I've had to deal with some questionable set lists, and this is a relatively nice set list. So, speaking of undo redo functionality, at the top of the edit menu, there's the undo. If I undo this, having moved the clips, now I have an option to redo moving the clips. Cut, copy, paste are pretty self-explanatory. Select all. I don't know that does anything in this mode. It's more about if you're like in editing a song, and you just have that muscle memory for select all, it will select all. Select all clips though will select all of the clips. And the nice thing about Visibox is that you can edit clips as a group as well. So if you then right click on the clips, you'll see options that are common to all of the clips. So we can delete them all. We can duplicate them all. The clips are not all video clips, so we don't have when resuming, when retriggered, when clip ends. We could fade them all in though, or fade them all, set them all to fade out, rotate, flip, basically all the things that you can do because we've got all visual clips connected now. And move them, which is a little weird. You've got all of them selected, but you can also select all songs, same kind of thing. Right click and it will show you the options common to all of them. I was saying though that they're not all videos, and so we can't do a video thing. But if we do select just videos, then now we will be able to, for instance, set all of them to when resuming, or excuse me, when retriggered, do nothing. And I find myself doing this a lot. So, that if you're I want to, all of the clips in this song, or all of the clips at the end of the set, or whatever it is, you can basically edit them all at once by just drawing the marquee around them. So continuing onward, select clip says deselect all. Just the opposite. It deselects what's already selected. You can also basically just sort of the operating system. If you click outside of the selected things, it will unselect them. These are Mac things that are kind of part of the OS. New song creates a new song in your project. This can get a little confusing sometimes because creating a new song is not really a song thing. It's a project thing. You're creating a new song in the project. You create a new clip in the song. That's a little non-intuitive, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. Replace background clip. Remove background clip, background options. We saw all of these over here on the background clip component in the control bar. Rotate, flip, video wall stretch. How do I explain this one? So we've got, there's a whole video about this. I'll again put it up here, or maybe it's up here. I can't remember. It's going to be one of these places that is going to be the link to the video wall stretch video. And basically, if you're using what's called a video wall controller, this is a hardware device that you connect your HDMI out into, and it will kind of do what you see at a sports venue where you've maybe got 4 TVs set up to show one image across all 4 TVs. You could do that with 2 TVs, maybe on either or video screens or projectors on either side of the stage, and you could have one image that stretches across them. The problem with that is that if it's not a square number of TVs, if it's not 4 TVs, 16 TVs, not 9 TVs, 16 TVs, my squares, it won't. It'll oftentimes stretch the content. This re-stretches it. It should really be called video wall unstretch, but watch that video. Only rotate, flip, and stretch in full screen. So this probably should be on by default, but we didn't have it in the early versions of Visibox. But basically, like a lot of this stuff that we're doing here will show up in the output when it's a little screen, when it's a little window here in the corner, and that can get kind of confusing. So if you check that, it won't actually do it until you go into full screen mode. Enforcing aspect ratio is kind of fun, especially on a video projector. It will kind of just look like cropping here. But basically what it does is it enforces an aspect ratio by cropping off the top and bottom, which is a little bit different from how letterboxing works, because letterboxing is about not cropping. But the neat thing about this is, I mean, you can already kind of see on the TV, it creates a more interesting aspect ratio, particularly more interesting than the 16:9 aspect ratio that we're so used to as the TV aspect ratio. And you can do some really fun stuff because when you're using a video projector only projects color, projects light, the light things. And since the top and bottom are black, they don't get projected, technically speaking, and so you could create sort of a strip of content that is just a little more visually engaging in my mind, including also doing vertical and stuff like that. So you could set everything to square. Actually, let me set it to square, and then I'll show you the next feature, which is round corners, and you can do anything from square to circle. And if you do circle and with the square, so it's circular edges on a square cropped, now we've got a circle and all our content will just play within this circle. I can, change my clips and the whole project will play in there. I apologize for the screen being blurred. But yeah, you get the idea. So, that's, kind of neat. You could, I've always joked you could put it on a gong, have a big lit up circular video. I did this for a friend's show recently. We had the projector was aimed at it was the venue's projector, and it was aimed in a really weird spot where it kept getting, but I made the video into a circle, and it had a great kind of feeling of this sort of like portal through to your video content. So onward. Uppercase titles is by default. You can set them to upper lower, which is just your preference. Zoom in, zoom out, and reset zoom. These are the Command plus, Command minus. This is where I was doing this earlier. So just zooming in and out. And letterboxing. So basically we say whether we want the content to be letterboxed by default. Now we're getting very weird because we're enforcing an aspect ratio and we're letterboxing it and we've got rounded corners. Things can get a little weird, but it's probably a good thing. But anyways, if you're finding that you're showing some content that you absolutely don't want cropped, anything in the project, just choose letterbox at the project level. And then this manage media option. I'm going to open that now. We'll take a look at the media overlay here. Again, we've got a whole other video about this, so I won't get into detail about it. But basically, this shows you all of the media files and a bunch of metadata about the files that are in your project. You can run a speed test on your disk to make sure it's fast enough for performance. You can set a target optimization to make sure that all of the clips in your project are optimized. I've got 8 files in this project right now that are already not optimized for one reason or another. They're showing up here because the resolution is higher than needed, because the bit rate is higher than we would want, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all here, and you can search through things. So I won't get too far into that, but that's there. So the song menu, add media files. It's exactly what it says on the tin. Media files, video files primarily, and image files. You can also add audio files here. And if you drag in an audio file, it will prompt you asking how you want to use. If you drag in multiple audio files, if like drag in multiple audio stem files, you can drag them directly into the song, or you can select them through a pop-up dialog here. Audio files, it will ask you how you want to use them, basically. And we can combine stem files to create multi-channel audio files. So that's all that multi-channel stuff I was talking about earlier. Camera clip inputs. They're usually called cameras because historically they were cameras, but these days they're like virtual cameras. You can connect dongle kinds of things that'll give you an HDMI input into your computer, and either you can connect a more professional camera than the webcam, or you can connect kind of anything in and show it on the screen, which is nice as part of your performance. So. And a placeholder clip we talked about. Delete the song, duplicate the song, attach audio, connect audio, edit song title. We went through all this. You may recognize it from the pop-up menu. Clip menu gives you information about the currently active clip. So if you've got a clip playing, so it will show you information about that clip. If you have several clips selected, it will also show you information about the several clips that you have selected. So, the play menu. So, what you can see is that just simply by hitting the 1, 2, 3 keys, and we only have 1, 2, 3 because there's only 3 clips in this song. 1, 2, 3. I can trigger the clips, and they trigger. Quickly, we've done basically a lot of work to make sure that there's as little latency as possible. When you queue up a song, when you pull up a song, it will cache the clips in that song. And once the clips are cached, they usually play within a few milliseconds on a good speedy computer like I have here. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. If you jump to a song like this one that has 23 clips in it, you can actually trigger more clips through the keyboard than are shown here. You can actually trigger 1 through 9, but we found it was taking up a lot of space in the menu, so you can just hit 8 and 9 and 8 and 9, and it will trigger those. The space button will stop if something is playing, and it will play if nothing is playing. Pause and resume. If you hold down the shift key and hit space, then you'll basically freeze stuff on the screen. Again, my moody lighting has this screen kind of hard to see, but shift space will pause it. Previous song will navigate us to the previous song. Next song will navigate us to the next song. And those options will stop. If we hold down the shift key, we will go to the previous song without stopping. And I'll do that right now to show you. So if I hit down shift and up, now I've activated this Universe Rocket song, but you can see that this clip in this song is still playing, and you can see it in the lower left here, even if sometimes this screen behind me is a little cryptic. Next song, previous song, no stop, next song, no stop. Circular song navigation. Again, look this up in the menu, but it's helpful. So basically the question is, if I'm, in a song, let's find a song here with a certain number of clips. If I say circular song navigation, if I turn that on, actually, circular song navigation happens at the advancing of songs. That's what this is. So if circular song navigation, if I'm on the last song and I hit the down, it will bring me to the first. If I at the first song and I hit the up, it will bring me to the last. Circular clip navigation is basically the same thing, but at the clip level. So if I'm here and I hit one more up, the next one, it will take me to the, see it better, yeah. But basically, that's how that works. Did I miss anything here? This is just previous clip, next clip. Same kind of thing. And unconstrained means whether it's constrained by the song or not. So if I'm on this clip and I hit left, well, now I've got circular song navigation going. It changes a little bit. If I hit left, nothing will happen. If I hit shift left, it will go to the previous song, previous clip in the previous song. Yeah, that. That's that menu. Window menu. Okay. Present full screen will basically take both windows and present them full screen. The escape key will escape full screen if you're in it. Swap presentation displays. We talked about that with the button. Output display allows you to choose which of the displays connected to your computer right now the output window will go on to when you go into full screen mode. The controller display displays is where you can choose the controller window will go when you go into full screen. Identify displays will allow you to identify the displays by putting a big number on top of them. And calibration and focus brings up this screen. I've got it in a circle here. Let's turn off the circle. It brings up this screen. Maybe if I get closer to it, you can see it better. But basically, it's got color bars and grayscale bars, and it shows you the aspect ratio of the screen that you're on and all that. That's calibration and focus. Output window resize just again, does what it says. You can resize the output window to a specific size. You can make sure that the output window stays at a certain aspect ratio. This is particularly helpful if you're capturing a Visibox window in OBS or another capture kind of application like that. That you'll know exactly the pixel size and know exactly the aspect ratio. Show output window controls, again, for if you're doing a window capture kind of thing, you can turn off the window controls so it's not capturing those. Close the window. Show the output window. If you're having trouble finding it, show the Visibox walkthrough, which is the current project, and then reset all windows is that panic button. The help menu has within it a link to our manual. You can download and open an example project to help you kind of get going at first. You can reach out to our support with this handy dandy support form. Showing up on the wrong screen, but there it is. Just enter in your information and send it along. It will also give us some extra information about the computer you're using and all that kind of stuff so that we can more quickly figure out the problem you're having and what platform you're on and what operating system you're on and all that kind of stuff. We've got a link to frequently asked questions. You can come join our Discord server. We've got free Visibox video packs that you can go download to have some content to use in Visibox or other applications if you want. We've got how-to articles on our website. We've got a YouTube channel where this very video that I'm making right now will go. We've got an article that explains gives some ideas of where you can find clips and loops for Visibox. This is where you can copy your support information if you're not using the support form, and where if you reach out without using the support form, we may get back to you and say, copy your support info and put it in the email so we know who you are. And then this third-party libraries is just a listing of other libraries that we're using in our application. There you go. The only thing I haven't mentioned is sort of the preview area down here, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You can see big versions of the clips in the current song that makes it a little bit easier, again, from across stage. And then you've got an area here that is previewing what's happening up on this screen. So even if you can't see what's happening on this screen very well, you could see it in the preview area here, especially if you're like a drummer or something like that. You want to be able to see what's going on the big projection screen behind you without craning your neck. So we've got a preview here. So there you go. That's the Visibox walkthrough. We've got new features coming out all the time. So this is kind of a moving target. But you can download Visibox, try it out with all the pro features for free. After that, it will continue on in free mode. But if you decide that you want the pro features, we've got very affordable subscription plans. And like I said earlier, we've also got a perpetual license option if you're not a subscriber kind of person. And we would super appreciate your support so we can keep implementing all our ideas. And we've got so many ideas to make Visibox even better than it already is. All right, take care. We'll see you next time.